Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Friday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for the weekend special, and you never know what you're going to get on the weekend special. We always, sometimes we talk about operating events, sometimes we talk about anniversaries, and it's 2100 Zulu on February 4th, 2022. And we have a very special guest today. It's Mal, Whiskey Fox 5 Kilo. And Mal's going to talk about a very special anniversary going on in New Orleans. Hello, Mal.
Hey, Tim. How are you doing this afternoon?
Great. Mal, I'm going to be sharing the screen, but you go ahead and tell us what the big celebration is all about.
Well, the big celebration is about the 100th anniversary of broadcast station WWL 870 AM in New Orleans, Louisiana. The station was started by the physics lab at Loyola University in New Orleans in 1922. And from there, actually, the station was a 10-watt station on 833.3 kilohertz. And in 1941, it began broadcasting as WWL 870 AM with 50,000 watts of power. It is a clear channel station that there's only 26 radio stations in the country that are regional stations as WWL. They were the older stations like KDKA, WLW, many stations around the country to cover regions and the whole United States. Of course, now we have over 8,000 radio stations, but these stations were very important to America.
And so tell us, Mal, what is your association with WWL?
Well, Tim, I worked there for 33 years. I retired at the end of 2017. I was director of sales of WWL and 4 of the other radio stations that Odyssey owns in New Orleans. So I was there for a third of the 100 years since they've been on the air.
Well, that is incredible, and certainly, you know all about the history of this. We're looking here at these 2 towers, 50,000 watts clear channel, but 2 towers. What's that about?
Well, it is directional to the north. Basically, if you looked at a plot, we pushed our signal to the north. Some of it goes into the Gulf of Mexico. And I will tell you that during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, President Kennedy asked to use WWL to redirect its signal to the Cuban people. And we actually received accommodation from the State Department signed by President Kennedy for the use of WWL during that time period. And WWL has a long history of serving the community of New Orleans, the region. At night, it pretty much covers about 37 to 40 states. And during Katrina, WWL was the heartbeat. I mean, it was the only station that was broadcasting out of New Orleans. The fact is that after Katrina, WWL became United Broadcasters, and we broadcast over almost every radio station in the New Orleans area.
No, that is incredible, and dedication to serving all those people down there. And so tell us about the celebration that's going to go on for the 100th anniversary.
Well, during March, the station actually went on the air March 31st, 1922, but we're going to do a special event station, Whiskey 5, Whiskey Lima. It's the club call letters for our WWL station. And we have 3 operators, myself, the chief engineer who retired about 2 years ago, Joe, W5ABC, and one of our other engineers who retired, W5DGM, Dominic, will operate throughout the month of March. There will be an article in QST for special events. You'll find it. We'll be operating on all bands, all frequencies. There are some specific frequencies that we're going to be operating on sideband, and those will be listed in QST. We will be operating CW, FT8, single sideband, as I said, and usually at the operator's convenience, if you will. But certainly during the whole month of March, I would think that most people who will hear us somewhere, someplace at some time.
And tell us again the call sign, the special events call sign.
W5WWL.
Yeah, boy, that's great to get that call sign.
it's our license. It's our license. It's one of our. I don't know if you can see that, but that's our club call letters. W5WWL.
Yeah, beautiful.
We used it during our 90th anniversary also, which was very successful. And it's really interesting to hear the stories of a lot of hams around the country who listened to WWL. You know, when it was first begun, we had Leon Kellner and his band from the Roosevelt Hotel, the Blue Room. A lot of people listened to the station then. You know, it was like I said, a regional station. So people could hear it, sit around the radio and listen to it. In fact, during the 90th anniversary, I talked to a guy I think it was in the Midwest, who was one of the trumpet players in the Leon Kellner band.
So, you know, Mal, I used to be a chief engineer at an AM broadcast station when I was in high school in my first 2 years of college. And every once in a while we would get QSL card requests. Have you got any DX that has listened to WWL?
Oh, absolutely. We've received QSL cards from around the world, Norway, Germany, all over Europe, listening to WWL. You know, there are shortwave listeners who listen and send us a QSL card.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's still a very exciting part of you know, what's going on in radio. And I just I took a shot here and I found a QSL card. I think it's from way back, but let me know when you see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, these reception cards are really cool. Again, from all over the place, but interesting, clear channel, 50,000 watts. Tell us about the transmitter, Mal.
Well, I'll tell you that when I first started working at WWL, the transmitter site was at the end of what we call Williams Boulevard, which ends at Lake Pontchartrain. So the transmitter site was at the end of, or at the coastline of Lake Pontchartrain, two towers with these huge capacitant hats on top of it. It was a sight to behold. Later on, they moved the transmitter site because the land was owned by, of course, the Jesuits, and they wanted to make a little money. And we moved it across the river. And if you go to the QRZ site, QRZ.com, and look at W5WWL, you'll see some of the pictures of the transmitter site. And our friends who protect the transmitters, they're kind of green and they have this like heavy skin. I think they're called alligators. And they're out there protecting the transmitter site at night and during the day.
Well, this photo that I just found from back in the 1930s, how cool is this? 50,000 watts in the 1930s.
That is a big transmitter. I think it's the transmitter now is probably not even half of one of those.
Right, right. But you know that's part of the 100-year celebration, though, is all of the innovations, and I'll bet there's some good ground conductivity down there at the transmitter site.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much in the marsh, and
Right.
needless to say that that's why we have those security guards out there.
That works good. Let's see who's in the chat room here, Mal.
Okay.
Enjoying the show today. We've got Whiskey 8 Victor India Papa is on. Whiskey 9 Uniform Sierra from Odessa, Texas. It's Ken, W5 Kilo Delta India. Speaking of my AM broadcast days, Jeff Tobin is on, who has recently become a ham. And Jeff was one of the DJs when I was the chief engineer. And Mal, we had a kind of serial number 1 transmitter on FM, and the morning guy had to when he turned it on, because we went off at night, he had a 6-foot stick to turn on the plates, because the darn thing that was back when IMAC was having trouble manufacturing tubes in Utah, and sometimes when you would turn the plates on, it would go bang. We have Whiskey 9 Papa Yankee on. Also Kilo Charlie 9 Lima Alpha from Aruba, where I'm sure it's nice and warm. Papa 43 Kilo. And from the Netherlands, Papa Alpha 5 Fox November. And Papa Delta 1 Bravo. And let's see, we have Kilo Echo 0 Papa Tango India. And from Denmark, Oscar Zulu 1 Delta Whiskey X-Ray. And our friend Dino from Virginia, Kilo Lima 0 Sierra. And Dino comments that March QST went live on digital today, so we can find out all the information on the Whiskey 5 Whiskey Lima. My friend Bobby from Oklahoma City, Kilo Fox 5 Golf Tango X-Ray. And let's see, Bob the Traveler is already in Florida, getting ready for hamcation. And let's see here, we got Kilo Bravo 0 Sierra Quebec Whiskey. And Perry is on, also from Oklahoma City, November 5 Papa Juliet. Back over in Belgium, Oscar Norway 4 Mike Delta Whiskey. And let's see, yes, Jim Cunningham was, Jeff mentioned Jim Cunningham was our sales manager at WGRP, and he's been at WQED in Pittsburgh since 1980, which is incredible. To have these long histories of employment, and Mal, you're a great example of that. Just staying at one station, even with changes in ownership and everything, and then to have a bunch of hams at WWL. I mean, that's really incredible.
Well, I actually started in broadcasting when I was 16 years old. I wanted to be a star. So I was on the air from 1965, well, no, I'm sorry, 1966 until 1977, when I went into sales. And I worked at a radio station in New Orleans where I had to turn on the FM transmitter. And we had just moved to a new facility, which we were on the 28th floor of the Plaza Tower. So I went in there one morning to turn the new transmitter on and hit that plate button, and it was like an explosion. And I went and I called the chief engineer and said, "This thing exploded." He said, "No, it didn't explode. It was a cool night outside, and it was bringing in the cool air into the warm transmitter when we signed off. There was moisture." So he said, "Go grab the broom and hit the plate on button." Well, I did, and it exploded again. So he had to come up and dry off the transformers.
Well, you never forget that stuff. And actually, I met Jeff Tobin. He was one of our on-air personalities when I was 16, and the ink was still wet on my first class commercial license. But after getting the extra, when I was 14, that seemed like the next thing to do. And let's see here, we've got Whiskey Juliet 3 United is on, and Whiskey 9 Kilo Kilo, and Whiskey Alpha 4 Mike Oscar Mike. Good afternoon, Tim and Malcolm. Congratulations to radio station WWL. I'm near another historic station, WLW in Cincinnati. And boy, those guys ran some power there. And I do remember the 500 kilowatt transmitter and the Blawnox Tower. A Blawnox Tower was almost as special as my Pyrod towers that I have here. Let's see, we got Whiskey 4 Alpha Bravo Charlie. And John, Kilo Bravo 3 Hotel says, many thanks for the service. I have a QSL card from WWL dated July 1967, signed by William Klinkenstein. Do you know William?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, John is a great SWL and retired medical doctor, and we're thrilled to have him here as part of our local club. And Kilo Delta 8 Uniform Whiskey Victor, or Whiskey Fox, I'm sorry, Uniform Whiskey Fox. And Bobby reports he's got 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground in Oklahoma City. Do you have any snow in Louisiana, Mal?
No, it's 40 degrees right now, and we had 4.5 inches of rain yesterday. I thought it would never stop.
But it's better than what I had to do with shoveling all this snow up here.
I was going to say that.
And let's see, we've got, our friend Ron, Racy Ron, Kilo Charlie 5, Quebec Charlie Victor. And from Edmond, Oklahoma, as Contest University is, it is going to happen. This is the year we're back. Ken is on. He's the chief engineer at KRIL and KRGN and KMRK for many years. Love my little AM stations and weekend on-air personality. That happens, Mal. When there's nobody else left standing, you've got to put the engineer in.
Yep.
So, Mal, we're going to look forward to hearing Whiskey 5 Whiskey Lima on the air, and congratulations to you and all the other hams that were employed there. We're so excited to hear you on the station, and we want to have you back on the show afterwards to tell us how it went.
Okay, we'll do, and we look forward to contacting everyone on the air, and looking forward for some good pileups.
That sounds great. Mal, thanks so much for coming on today, and thanks to all the viewers. Hope there's some great QSO parties this weekend, so get on the air and have fun with the greatest hobby in the world. Until next Tuesday, 73 from DX Engineering.
Thank you, Tim.